もしやコスモでは。
Cosmo needs me free.
Cosmo AP Luxury Sports.
Okay, now that the engine parts are clean, I'm going to change my focus a little bit and do a little bit of body work. First, I'm going to fill some of the holes, the antenna hole, the lock hole, a few of the trim mounting holes, and also the door handle holes. All that stuff's being shaved completely off. I've just ordered a shaved door kit from Autolock with the solenoids and remote and all the actuators needed. So as soon as that stuff comes in, I'll install it all. But for now, I'm just gonna do the little bit of body work that's required. Okay, so this is the rear antenna hole. I'm gonna fill it, but first I'm gonna make it just a little bit more square so that it's easier to make a patch for. This is my first bit of patching body work in a few years, so I want to take it easy before I get into the hard stuff. I'm just going to Dremel out this area and then cut a patch for it. Now a lot of people would just use a big cutoff wheel for this, but I prefer the Dremel because it's harder to do damage. There, this square hole is going to be a lot easier to deal with than the irregular hole that was there. Okay, so I'll just make a small cardboard template and then cut a piece of metal out to the appropriate size. I cut this little patch panel out, then bent it to follow the body lines by hand. It's a little bit below the surface, which I'll fill with weld and then a skim coat of filler afterwards. Need more heat. There we go.
What?
My magnet was underneath it.
Oh, that would do it too.
There we are.
That's on.
Okay, it took a few tries to get the welder settings right. That's why it looks a bit nasty, but each one of those spot welds was then cooled with a rag, and now I just have to grind it flush. And that's one patched antenna hole. That's the first time I've done this in years, so what you saw in about 5 minutes took me an hour and a half. Okay, these holes are the mounting holes for the god-awful chrome trim that used to be there, and since it's not going back on, I'm filling these holes. They're small enough that I've just been filling them directly with the welder. On fire. Okay, now we'll just grind that ugly mess down. And that's one filled hole. Now you can warp metal from the heat of grinding too, so you want to make sure it's cool. Keep a wet rag handy or a blast of air. Honestly, I'm not worried about a little bit of warp on the sill panels because it's going to be rocker guarded anyway. No one will ever notice. And there we go. And after about an hour of work, all 4 holes are plugged, and they'll ultimately be leveled out with a bit of filler. And this is the last sill trim hole that needs to be filled. Done and done. And those are all the extra holes on the passenger side. Okay, while I'm in the mood of patching holes, I'm just going to deal with the 2 tiny holes that are in the floor. So first, the seats and carpet have to come out. Okay, so the next task is to fix this awesome hole in the floor. So the thing about rust is, a lot of times you find a little bit more damage than it first appears, and that's what happened here. I just cut that little hole out, and then I just kept cutting until I found some solid metal. Just as a comparison, here's the hole that I cut out, and here's what I originally intended to fix. You can see that even though the metal around it looks good, there's still some nasty thinning. So you know what, if you're fixing a little hole like this, you might as well just keep going until you find solid metal, because it's the same amount of work either way. Oh, on fire. Oh shit. Well, it turns out that the hole that I thought was about 2 inches under the driver's pedal area is a bit larger than I had anticipated. It came with this awesome patch that seemed to be held on by tar and rivets, but after prying that thing up and some investigation with the old poking screwdriver, the hole's a little bit larger than I thought. So I'm going to have to start peeling back this tar and figure out exactly what I'm going to have to replace. It's a little depressing, but, you know, it's an old car. What do you want?